Good morning, children. In the last class, we have completed the fifth chapter, that is the principles of inheritance and variation. Today, we will continue with respect to the competitive part, that is nothing but the NEET or CET questions. Okay, so let's start the discussion with the competitive part. In that one, first question: select the odd one out of these four. Whatever they have given the options. If you want to know the answer about this one, first of all, I told you should note down this question is related to the Mendel's laws of inheritance. That too, specifically, whatever the Mendel he studied as one pair of contrasting characters in Gordon Pea plant, isn't it? Yeah. See, he has given the four options. Option A, violet flower, B, a round seed, C, yellow pod, and D is a tall stem. Out of this one, why the C is the right option? There is nothing but odd one, the right option. Okay. So while we are studying about the contrasting characters, if you just look at a table, the dominant characters, the stem height, tall, seed shape round, seed color yellow, pod shape smooth or inflated, pod color green, flower position axillary, a flower color violet. So these are all the dominant triads, isn't it? But when it comes to the recessive, okay, dwarf, wrinkled, green, constricted, yellow, the pod color yellow is a recessive, and terminal and white. So out of these four options, yellow pod is nothing but the recessive contrasting character, and the remaining violet, round seed and tall is a dominant. So that's why option C is the right option with respect to the odd one out of these four options. Did you get it? Yes. So this is how you should ready to analyze the question, as well as you should ready to understand the particular topics. The next question, the second one. So this is also related to the Mendel's laws of inheritance. The graphical representation to calculate the probability of all genotypes of offspring in a genetic cross is called. So if you know the definition, if you remember the definition, means you can directly answer. Yes, the answer is clear. That is Punnett square. Or we can also say a checkerboard in generally. Okay. So in F1 generation, generally we will start the crosses between the parents. But while we are writing the F2, we will draw a checkerboard so that we can easily identify the probability of all genotypes of offspring in the genetic cross. Isn't it? Yeah. So that's why option C is the right option. Okay? Yes. The next question, the third one, Mendel's laws of inheritance. This is also related to the Mendel's laws of inheritance. A pure tall pea plant is crossed with pure dwarf pea plant. That means you should note down the pure, the tall means capital T, and when it is crosses with a pure dwarf means small t. The progeny is self-pollinated. So that means, after the crossing, what we will get, capital T, small t we will get. If it crosses with the same capital T, small t, the ratio of the two breeding, a tall pea plant's true breeding dwarf pea plant shall be. So this is nothing but, what is the phenomena? Yes, so that is nothing but back cross, or we can also say it's a test cross. Exactly, a test cross. And you know very well that what is the definition of the test cross? It is a cross made between F1 hybrids with its double recessive parents to confirm that the F1 or F2 hybrid is homozygous or heterozygous. So when the test cross is conducted, 50% of the plants are generally, whatever the parental characters. Here it is mentioned tall, right? Yes. Then in such a cases, 50% of the plants are tall and 50% of the plants are dwarf. So that is in the ratio 1:1, isn't it? Yeah. So this question is related to exactly the test cross. The logic distractor or the topic is test cross. Next question. So this is also related to the Mendel's laws of inheritance only. Gametes are never hybrid. That is a statement of law of. So generally, so that means they have given the definition. So this is nothing but the gametes are never hybrid means. So it indicates the law of segregation, isn't it? So just recall the statement of law of segregation or purity of gametes, or we can also say monohybrid cross, then you will come to know. Okay, gametes are never hybrid. So that means when the alleles for the two contrasting characters are brought together in F1 generation, they separate or segregate in F2 generation during the formation of gametes. So in the short form they have given the gametes are never hybrid. Okay, did you got it? They separate or segregate in F2 generation during the formation of gametes. So that's why. So this statement is nothing but the law of segregation. The law of segregation or purity of gametes. Okay, when we are studying about the monohybrid cross, I told you about all these things in detail. Fine? Yes. The next one. The Mendel's laws of inheritance, it is also. So let us study. According to law of independent assortment in a dihybrid cross. So I told you while we are discussing about the inheritance of two genes, so it can also be asked in the form of a law of independent assortment or dihybrid cross, isn't it? So that means according to the law of independent assortment in a dihybrid cross, there is a single individual which is homozygous recessive for both the characters. Did you remember? So there is a single individual which is homozygous recessive for both the character. So that means finally whatever you will get the recessive, that is wrinkled grain. Wrinkled grain, smaller, small by. So that is a homozygous condition, isn't it? There is a single individual which is homozygous recessive for both the character. There is a wrinkled grain. Did you got it? Yeah. So that's why you should know how to, understand the questions, as well as you should ready to write down quickly, work it out, because in exams you will be not having that much of time. You will be having hardly 1 minute for one question, isn't it? Yeah, so that's why if you know all these things in the earlier only, then you can answer within few seconds only. Yeah. Next question. How many types of gametes will be produced by individuals of the AA, BB, CC? See here, you should note down, just use the paper and pencil, then you can identify, write down whatever they have given. AA, B, small b, and small c. There are the possibilities if we make it into the gametes formation generally A, capital B, capital C. Another possibility, capital A, small b, small c. So these are only possibilities. There are two types of possibilities. The first one is capital A, capital B, capital C. Small c. Here small c they have given. And the next one is the capital A, small b, and small c. These are two possibilities. Did you got it? How many type of the gametes will be produced? By the individuals of these one, there are only 2 type of the gametes is possible. You can work it out, then you can come to know. Okay? Yeah. The next question is the Mendelian principles, which has always stood true. So, see, when we are discussing about the Mendelian laws of inheritance, what happened actually? The law of independent assortment is not applicable for all the cases, or all the species, and also the law of dominance is applicable only in case of the P. But while we are studying about the snapdragon or 4 o'clock plant, what happens? It is become incomplete dominance. So that means the Mendelian principle, which has always stood true only in case of law of segregation. Okay, so that is nothing but the law of segregation. I told you. Now, when the alleles for 2 contrasting characters are brought together in F1 generation, they separate or segregate in F2 generation during the formation of gametes. So, this is called a law of segregation. It is also called purity of gametes. Law of purity of gametes. Or you know very well that. So, while we are studying about the monohybrid curve, I told you inheritance of one gene. Did you got it? Yes. The next question. The alleles of a gene are found on. See, while we are discussing in the beginning only, the first class, very first class in this chapter, I told you the meaning of the alleles. What is alleles? A pair of genes occupying or present. Where it is present? A same locus on homologous chromosome and controlling a single or contrasting characters. So this is what we call alleles. Where it is present? It is present on homologous chromosomes. Did you got it? So that means alleles of a genes are found on homologous chromosomes. Fine? Yes. And you can ask me, sir, what is homologous chromosomes? 2 identical chromosomes in a diploid cell is called homologous chromosome. Okay, each and every the terminologies or the words are very important, or else you cannot identify the right answer. Did you got it? Yes. The next question. The crossing of an organism with a dominant phenotype to a recessive individual is called. So, while we are discussing about that, just now I told you the test cross. How can I define the test cross? It is a cross made between F1 hybrids with its a double recessive parents to come from the homozygous or heterozygous condition of the F1 hybrids, isn't it? So that means when we take an example of the tau and dwarf only, when we will generally conduct the test cross between capital T small t into small t small t. So that's what we call test cross. Did you got it? The dominant means heterozygous dominant, capital T small t. That is a hybrid. When we crosses the double recessive, that is small t small t. What are the possibilities? Alpha will be, that means taller, and alpha will be become the dwarf. That is 1:1. Okay? Yeah, it's clear, right? The next question. A heterozygous round-shaped plant is crossed to a recessive wrinkled seed. The progeny would be, okay, heterozygous round seed. Heterozygous round seed means that is capital R, small r, and it is crosses to a recessive wrinkled, that is small r. So that means the ratio. If you know the ratio, means you can easily identify. So this is nothing but the test cross. Just now as I said, no, the test cross. Okay, when we conduct a test cross, the test cross ratio will be 1:1. If you know this one, you can just compare the numbers so that you can easily identify. The first one is 303 round and 301 wrinkle. A very slight, a very small, the differences will be there. So not that much. But if you compare the other things, it will be lot of differences. The remaining things, if you just compare, it will become different, isn't it? It is not, the nearest to the 1:1. So that's why option A is the right answer. Okay, write down. This is the logic distractor for this question. It is also related to the test cross. The next question, the test cross ratio in case of the monohybrid 1:1. Do you remember? But in case of the test cross ratio in a dihybrid cross would be 1:1:1:1. Okay, so that's what. So we will get the in case of the dihybrid. Do you remember? So please note down. In case of the dihybrid cross, the test cross whenever we conducted, the F1 will be capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. That is the F1 parent. If it is crosses with the double recessive parent, small r, small y, small y. Now the possible gametes, capital R, capital Y, capital R, small y, and small r, small y. So in case of the double recessive, but what about in case of the F1? So capital R, capital Y, capital R, small y, small r, capital Y, small r, small y. So these are all the four possibilities. When you cross this one, note down what are the possible gametes, it can be identified, and then after what we will get, you should note down, or else you cannot identify. As a result of the crossing between capital R, capital Y, small y with respect to the small r, small y, small y, we will get capital R, capital Y, small y. That's a round yellow. Then capital R, small y, small y, round green. Capital R, small y, small y, wrinkled yellow. And small y, small y, wrinkled greens. So the test cross ratio is 1:1:1:1. So this is with respect to the test cross ratio in a dihybrid cross. The next question, a pure tall plant is reared in a soil. Okay, see, while we are reading only this question, you should try to understand so that you can answer later in the easiest manner, or else it leads to a lot of confusion. A pure tall plant, not done. It is a tall plant. It is reared in a soil, poor in nutrition. Because of the nutrition, and reach at the size of the dwarf plant. Okay, then that means it is a genetically, morphologically, actually pure tall plant only. Then, if this plant is self, so that means again, if you consider, if it will the capital T, if it is crosses with capital T, what we will get? If this plant is self, the phenotype in the F1, we will get all the tall plants only. Did you got it? So that means capital T by birth it is the homozygous dominant tall only. Because of the nourishment, it may become the dwarf temporarily. But again, if it will be self-crossed capital T with respect to capital E only, you will get all the tall plants only. Okay. So this is how we should ready to work out. Okay. Yeah. Next question. What should be the composition of gametes? See here, there is no need of that much of logic and magic, nothing. You just know, and you should remember, during the formation of gametes, what will become? that 2n is get converted into n. That's it. Okay, what would be the composition of the gametes? So for example, if you write down, okay, so they are not told in any manners, just they have given in the any terminologies. Here they have given the capital G, small g, capital L, small l. Okay, but what would be the composition of the gametes? Gametes generally containing half of the number of the chromosomes, isn't it? If you consider capital G and capital L during the formation of gametes, the gametes containing half of number of the chromosomes, then what would be the composition of the gametes? Capital G and another one is, okay, so it will be containing L. Got it? Yes. Next question. The percentage of heterozygous individuals obtained from selfing of capital R small r, write down heterozygous round. Okay, so capital R small r means heterozygous round, and individual is. See, just work it out. Okay, according to the Mendelian law only, while we are working about the monohybrid cross, the parents will be capital R and smaller. If you crosses between these two, you will get capital R smaller. Here they are asking the percentage of heterozygous individual obtained from selfing means in F2 you should identify. So that what will be the possibility? The capital R will be 25%. And capital R small r will be 50%, small r will be 25%. If you add all those things, you should get the 100. So here they are asking only capital R small r, the heterozygous, that's the 50. Okay, like that you can calculate whatever they give the numbers. You don't worry. So just remember how to calculate that based on the phenotypic ratio and genotypic ratio. Okay, if they give the 1000, so then it will be just you add whatever they have given the number, divide by 4. For example, in monohybrid cross, that is cross ratio will be 1:1, isn't it? Phenotypic ratio 3:1 and genotypic ratio 1:2:1. Like that you should ready to identify. Got it? The next one. See, this question actually they can ask in your NEET levels. Okay, because these rabbits, the example, it may be not present in your NCERT, but still they can ask, because this can be asked in the competitive. No matter if you just understood these Mendelian laws only, based on that one we can work it out. Okay, yeah, let me to explain. In rabbits, the gene of the grey fur, write down. Gene of the grey fur means it will be capital G, that dominant over the black fur, small g. Okay, in a litter, if 50% rabbits are grey, 50% of the rabbits are grey, then the possible parental cross combination is, so this is nothing but test cross. Did you got it? Consider, as I said, the capital G as a homozygous dominant parent. Then it will crosses with small g, that's a homozygous recessive black fur, and in F1 generation it will become capital G, small g, isn't it? When it will be crosses with the recessive parent, it's capital G into small g. So this is what we call test cross. Did you got it? Now you can identify the percentage they have given already of 50-50. So that means a half will be become the guess the gray fur, and half of them will become black fur. Got it? The 16th question. In a population, a multiple allelic gene contains 5 alleles. Then the number of possible genotypes in that population would be. See, first of all, for the purpose of understanding, I will tell you, in a population, multiple allelic gene contains 5 alleles. First of all, multiple allelic genes, when we are indicating, in the beginning I told no, capital A, capital A, capital B, capital B, capital C, capital C. So like that, more than 2, that will be 3. That is a multiple allelic genes, isn't it? And whatever the number it contains the 5 alleles. They are telling 5 alleles. Okay, write down 5 alleles only. Then the number of possible genotypes in the population would be, as I said, capital A, capital A, capital B, capital B, capital C, capital C. So 5 into 3. 5 3 is 15. What would be the possible genotypes in the population would be? That's 15. Did you got it? How to calculate? You should write down. Simply if you listen means there is no use. Okay, you should work it out. Okay. So as I said, capital A, capital A, capital B, capital B, capital C is the dominant one. And if you take a recessive, small a, small a, small b, small b, small c, small c will be recessive. Okay, like that, if you take example of this one, how many number of genes here? So multiple allele means 3. So here whatever the number they have given, genes containing 5 alleles. Then 5 3 is 15. So this is how to calculate the number of genotypes in a population. The next one, so this question, 17th one, out of a population of 800 individuals, note down the number of the population is 800. In F2 generation of a cross between yellow round and green wrinkled pea plants, okay, what would be the number of yellow wrinkled seeds? Okay, whatever they have mentioned, write down as it is. See, they have given the number, note down the number is 800. In F2 generation of a cross between yellow round, are you getting? Yellow round and green wrinkled. Okay. Green means you should know first of all what is the green, how to write this one. So just to confuse they have given. Okay, yellow round is nothing but round yellow, that's it. Okay, so that means capital R, capital Y, small y will be the heterozygous condition. And what they have given, if they crosses with green wrinkle is nothing but same small r, small y. Okay, but just they interchanged. Small r instead of that one in the earlier green they have mentioned, then you should write down small y, then after smaller. Okay, so that's it. What would be the number of the yellow wrinkled? So they are asking yellow wrinkled. Okay, so just cross this one. As I said, while we are crossing the yellow color, okay, when we will get the wrinkle? During the test cross. Okay, so during the test cross we will get the yellow wrinkle. Okay, so that's what I said. Capital R, small y is it is yellow wrinkle or wrinkle yellow, like that we can tell. Okay, did you got it? Fine. Yes. So then you can identify the number. Okay. So this is how to identify the numbers with respect to by using the test cross ratio and by using the dihybrid, the phenotypic ratio, genotypic ratio, like that. You should ready to identify. Did you got it? I hope you got it. Fine? Yes. The next question. 2 pink flowered snapdragon plants, that is, write down pink flowers when it will arises in a heterozygous condition, this is capital R small r, are self-pollinated, the probability of the offspring to have a white flowers. See, let me to tell you, so this question is related to the deviation from Mendelian principle, that too specifically incomplete dominance, is also known as partial dominance or blending inheritance. So during this process, what we will do in the beginning, yes, we will cross between homozygous red flowered plant, that is capital R, into homozygous white flowered plants, isn't it? Then in F1 generation, what we will get? We will get capital R small r. Okay, that's F1, filial first generation. By selfing capital R small r into capital R small r, what we will get the ratio? Yes, there are 3 possibilities. Capital R, that is a red flowered, and another one is capital R small r pink flowered, and small r is white flowered. If you take a percentage, 1:2:1, that's a 25% a red flowered, 50% is a pink flower, and 25% is a white flower. So here what they are asking, white flower. The 25% is a white flower. Okay, so this is how to calculate in the easiest manner. The next question here, a blue foal obtained from a mating between black and white foals is self-crossed. Okay, the F2 ratio. So remember this question, how to remember a blue foal obtained from mating between black and white. So there are 3 possibilities, blue and black, and another one is white. Okay, so that means 3 genes are present. The blue foal obtained from mating between black and white foal is a self-caused actually. Okay, it is a self-caused. The ratio. So it is just like, okay, as I said now, a deviation of Mendelian law. Okay, so here it's also, when we are doing the crosses, you should write down the blue foal obtained from mating. That means blue is nothing but we can compare the pink color of that is snapdragon. Okay, then the black and white. Black is indicated by the capital B, and white is indicated by small b. When they crosses in F1 generation, unfortunately due to the incomplete dominance, all are become blue. When they continue the similar thing in F2 generation, the capital B, that is a black, and capital B, small b, 2, that is a blue, and small b, 1, white. So this is just like the incomplete dominance. Did you got it? It should work out. Okay, so this is the ratio, 1:2:1. So just like phenotypic and genotypic ratio is similar in case of incomplete dominance. So next one, this is very easy. The ab blood grouping shows both codominant and dominant recessive genes. Yes, you know very well that while we are discussing about the codominance, I told you AB blood group. But out of this one, AB group is exactly in man, and coat color in rabbit also. It is an example for the codominance. Okay, and the dominant recessive genes also which is present, small I, do you remember? So those will be considered recessive. Okay, so then they are containing the both, I told you while we are discussing about the blood groupings, there are generally possibility of the blood groups both in homozygous and heterozygous. I to the power of A, I to the power of A homozygous, I to the power of A small I will be heterozygous. Similar in case of B also. Okay, but if you take A with respect to the O, small I. Did you got it? Yes? That's I to the power of A and I to the power of B are codominant, while they are I to the power of A and I to the power of B are dominant over small I. So that means they are recessive genes. Okay, so that we can easily tell that they are containing both codominant and dominant recessive genes. Next question. A child of the blood group O, here underline the terminology, the blood group of the O, cannot have parents of the blood groups. Okay, here the possibility, as I said, if you take an example of the A blood group, in a heterozygous condition I will be there. Whenever I will comes, surely there is a possibility, isn't it? But here in this case, cannot have parents of the blood group, they are asking. That should not be there. If homozygous A or heterozygous A, out of these conditions, if heterozygous will be there, surely O blood group will be arises, isn't it? But here what they are asking in the reverse manner. A child of a blood group is already having the O blood group, means small I, or we can also say I to the power of 0. Okay, cannot have the parents means when their parents are AB blood group and AB are O, in next generation there is no possibility of the O blood group. In F2 there may be possibility, but in an immediate to the next generation, whenever the AB blood group crosses with the AB or crosses with O, there will be no possibility of the O blood group. Did you got it? You can work out. Just guide on AB. If it will crosses with the AB, next generation there may be AA or AB, AA or AB, and there will be BB. Did you got it? There is no possibility of the O blood group. If there is another one, they have given in AB, if it is crosses with O also, AB immediately the next, isn't it? O. So that is heterozygous A, heterozygous B will come. But there will be no possibility of the O blood group, isn't it? So that's why it's already appeared. A child of the blood group O cannot have the parents of the blood group. The option A is the right answer. Did you got it? Yes. The next one. So this is also try to understand in the easiest manner. The 4 children belonging to the same parents have the blood groups A, B, AB and O. The genotypes of the parents are. So this is a very good example for just now as I said. Yes, multiple allelism. Okay. So one parent is a heterozygous A and another parent is a heterozygous B. So then only, so that means if you write down, okay, whenever the cross made between, so that is IA, I, that is small I, or we can also add to the power of 0 into IB, I. So that is a heterozygous. One parent is heterozygous A and another parent is heterozygous B. So then all these 4 possibilities you can identify. There is a blood group possibility, there is a B blood group possibility, AB and also O. Did you got it? So this is how you can easily understand the way of blood grouping. So this is the best example for multiple allelism. Got it? The next question. So here it's a very easy. Just now I told you completely. In a BO system, the blood groups genes show multiple allelism. They include two dominant alleles, that is A and B. That is I to the power of A and I to the power of B is the dominance. That's why they are responsible for the codominance. But what about the another one is the recessive, small I. Okay, so that is a recessive. So that is two dominant alleles and one recessive allele is present in case of the multiple allelism, that too specifically in ABO blood group in humans. The next question, multiple phenotypes is in. See, if you just know the definition of the pleiotropy so that you can understand the question in the easiest manner. First of all, I told you while we are discussing in the theory, so what is the pleiotropy? Do you remember the definition for the pleiotrophy? Yes. A single gene can exhibit many phenotypic expressions. Okay, do you remember? Yes, phenylketonuria is an example for pleiotrophy. A single gene can exhibit many phenotypic expressions. Okay, so that means a single gene can, product may produces more than one effect also. So we can also give the example, the starch synthesis in pea plants. Okay, so the starch synthesis in a pea seeds is controlled by one gene, that is a capital B. It has a two genes actually, capital B and small b. So when we crosses, there is a possibility capital B, small b, when they crosses, we can identify in a heterozygous capital B, small b. So that is capital B, that produces more, the percentage of the starch synthesis. Small b is the less content of the starch synthesis, and capital B, small b is that produces intermediate. Okay, so this is how it's about the pleiotrophy. Okay. The next question, which of the following is an example of pleiotrophy? Just now as I said, the starch synthesis in pea plants, even phenylketonuria, PKU, also sickle cell anemia. So these are all can be given example for. Pleiotrophy. I repeat once again, what is pleiotrophy? A single gene can exhibit many phenotypic expression. That means a single gene product may produce more than one effect. So this is what we call pleiotrophy. All of this is the right answer. The next one, inheritance of human skin color and human height. So while we are telling about the polygenic inheritance, if you remember the definition so that you can easily identify the answer, let me to define once again what is the polygenic inheritance. An expression of a triad is controlled by two or more number of the genes is called polygenic inheritance. Okay, so we can give example: skin color, eye color, height and weight in human beings. So these are all examples with respect to the polygenic inheritance. The terminology itself indicates more than two, controlled by two or more number of genes. Okay. The next question, which of the following category of the genotypes present in, that is intermediate? Okay, see I told no, so note down once again, in case of the skin color of humans, capital A, capital B, capital C, he is known as black. Okay, so we can also say the darkest skin color is the dominant. Okay, then small a, small b, small c is a fair or recessive. Okay, triad in case of the skin color. By crossing between these two, whatever we will get the intermediate is known as mulatto skin color in humans. Okay, so while we are writing, so the intermediate, as I said, capital A, capital B, small b, capital C, small c. Okay. So what are the possibilities with respect to the intermediate skin colors? So here the given option C is the right answer. Okay. So these are all the possibles with respect to the intermediate mulatto skin color in humans. So that's why they are all different with respect to the pattern of the skin color. Okay. So this is what with respect to the the competitive part. So let it be. In the next class we will continue with respect to the till more questions. Okay. So thank you. Have a nice day. Please, while you are watching this video, please don't watch. Okay. So there's nothing but you should also work it out. If you simply watch, there is no use. Okay. You should have a pen or pencil in your hand. Note down, work out whatever we give the instructions, so that then only you can understand in the easiest manner. Okay. So thank you. Have a nice day.